Hi everybody, it's time for your Farm and Ranch news. Well, one of Montana's largest agricultural gatherings is underway this week here in Great Falls. Of course, I'm talking about the 2019 Montana Grain Growers Association's annual convention and trade show underway here at the Heritage Inn. Now with us on today's program is the MGGA's president, Lyle Benjamin, from that Sunburst, Montana country. And Lyle, as we look back at 2019, I think it can be best summed up by a storyline of one of two stories, and that's weather and trade. And let's talk first about some of this year's unpredictable weather challenges.
It certainly was, Russell. You know, the Montana has two stories even in the weather side. We had the northern tier that was almost more Canadian-style weather, very dry. Then the southern part of the state, Southern Triangle, excellent crops, excellent quality. In my home country, though, it was started out wet, it dried out, it stayed dry, and then we got rain at harvest, and that ruined crop quality. You know, half the malt barley probably went into the feed market. It was just a tough year on the weather side of the thing.
You know, but farmers and ranchers, we tend to be, the glass is always half full. We have to be. We're an optimistic bunch, and everybody's pulling for a better year next year, especially for those young producers out there.
You know, it's always next year country is the phrase we use, and there's certainly opportunities next year. I think there's some of these markets will shape up. It can't be that bad for that long. You know, farming is a cyclical game, and I think we can set up for next year, and there's good opportunity.
We've been talking about two of the storylines, the first one being weather, I mentioned. The second one, I think, this year has been trade. We'll talk about some of those trade opportunities and maybe a challenge or two still out there for farmers like Lyle Benjamin right after this. Well, continuing our coverage today from the Montana Grain Growers Association's annual convention here in Great Falls. Again, we're talking with their president from Sunburst, Montana, about some of the challenges and, more importantly, opportunities for farmers like him out here in Big Sky country. We talked about those weather challenges before the break. Let's talk about trade opportunities. We signed a pretty significant trade agreement a few weeks ago with one of our largest trading partners, the Japanese.
You know, we really did. That was a vital piece of legislation an agreement to get with the Japanese. Montana exports about 80% of our crop. Japan is our #1 customer. The Pacific Rim is a vital part of the Montana grain industry, and so that agreement was a huge beacon of hope to the Montana producer.
You know, we're also hoping to get another significant trade deal done yet this calendar year. Of course, I'm talking about the U.S., Mexico, and Canada agreement.
Very important to us. It's truly a North American market. On my farm alone, we send half of our barley to Mexico. We send most of our canola to Canada. Our spring wheat goes out through the PNW to Japan. You know, it's a North American market. We must have USMCA. It has to pass.
And finally, at the conclusion of this convention, you guys will be setting your policy for 2020, and that's really the heart and soul of this convention.
It certainly is. It gives the members an opportunity to point us down the road for the next year and lets us see where we need to be policy-wise and direction-wise. It's very important.
Well, we certainly thank you and say hats off to you for a job well done serving as the Montana Grain Growers Association's president these past 12 months or so. It's a huge commitment, and we couldn't do it without volunteer leaders like Lyle Benjamin from Sunburst, Montana. Well, that's going to do it for now from the Montana Grain Growers Association's annual convention here in Great Falls. Have a great day.